Episode 4.
Oh, that one will do it.
BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy hoy. Welcome one and all to BRB UK episode 647. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good betwixtmas. I don't even know where you are. I don't know where I am. You're talking people who don't know where they are. Tim, hi. Where are you?
Hi. I'm here.
Okay, good answer. Coleman, where are you?
Hi! I'm in Sicily, as you can tell by my background. Yes.
Yeah, how was it?
Beautiful Sicily.
Beautiful Sicily.
Lovely weather, lemons, and limoncello. It's all happening in Sicily.
There we go. Coleman's drinking already, everybody.
I haven't opened it. I've had that there for about 2 months now.
Wow, is that like kind of the equivalent of someone leaving a cigarette packet with one cigarette in their pocket just to prove that they can resist?
No, my girlfriend bought me some limoncello from Italy, and it's been sat there waiting for a special occasion.
So basically you're not even grateful of the nice present she got you.
I am grateful. That's why I haven't chugged it the minute she gave it to me.
Limoncello is one of those things where you have to have been drinking a bit for it to taste good anyway. Like,
no, limoncello's nice. No, limoncello's good.
I was saving it for some hot weather barbecuing action.
Yeah.
That never happened this summer, so I was going to stay there for a bit.
So, there was been absolutely no hot weather this summer.
No hot weather this summer.
There was no barbecuing because it was too hot.
Just leave the food outside and it cooks itself.
So
exactly.
what is your idea of a tasty alcoholic drink then, Tim? Just so, you slag Coleman off for limoncello. What's your idea of a tasty drink?
I mean, my general go-to, especially in summer, is just a pint of cider, generally, have to say. That's my go-to. Have to say, loading at the moment have Copperberg Crispy Apple on tap. And
now that is nice.
That is quite tasty.
I like a proper cider.
Like proper cider?
I
like a bit of
I like a variety of ciders, depending on the mood. But that is
a variety.
Doing well.
Tell me, what kind of mood do you have to be in for a crisp cider?
Well, I said it's good when it's hot, and at the moment,
that's not
it's
a
so
mood,
hot that
Tim.
I'm taking a bit of ice in my cider, which is rare. But yeah, I kind of like that.
But it being hot is not the mood that you're in, Tim.
You've been having ice and cider.
Hot and sweaty is a mood. Yes.
Hot
ice
and
and
sweaty
cider,
is not
Tim.
a mood.
Yes.
You ice and cider.
Yeah.
Your poor fiance.
Oh dear.
There it is.
Wow.
I mean, you got
on with the show.
Wow.
Needs must when it's hot, eh? But
wow, Tim. I mean, that as well, just wow. All right. Wow. Okay.
Shall we do a podcast?
But please, let's move
about
on.
Some video
Jesus
games.
Christ. Let's move on. So, Coleman, you've been sinking your teeth into a game that's been abbreviated as an abbreviated, we described as an abbreviated AAA game. Because got the AAAs, but it's quite short.
Oh, okay. If
that's what I've heard. It's like Robert De Niro. It's quite Italian, quite good, but quite short.
Well, Robert De Niro is waiting and speaking Italian, such as the song goes. But
very good.
Mafia, the old country from 2K Games and more importantly, Arrowhead Games. This is a prequel to the Mafia games, and that's a good thing because I've never played a Mafia game.
Right. Because I was going to say, the Mafia games have always, not really quite hit it for me. They've always kind of seemed to be a bit of a hanger-on to the genre, kind of doing and letting other forms of art that have told Mafia stories, such as like Goodfellas, Godfather, do a lot of the heavy lifting for them. And to me, not really brought a great deal to the narrative or to the terms of games.
I've always meant to try them, and I was interested in the remastered one, but yeah,
Yeah, I hear the
I have never
remastered
quite
one's
got to.
good. I've
So
had that
this is
downloaded
set
for a
in-
while. No, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say I've had remastered downloaded for the definitive edition downloaded for
Yes.
quite some time because I was watching a thing just sort of showing how much effort was put into the definitive edition. I was like, oh, I really should give that a go. That does look impressive. But this one, so whereas the previous series, it's all Americana kind of Italians, expats over and organized crime, as such as the movies, as Dan mentioned. This one, it's less Godfather 1 and more Godfather 2. It takes place in Sicily in the early 1900s. And this is kind of the early beginnings of the organized crimes. There's, you have the families, they have their established areas of territory. You have dons that are in charge of those lands, but you'll have like a main family that's in charge of those.
Mm-hmm.
So you, in this game, you start out playing as Enzo, and you're in one of the territories working in a sulfur mine, not Ezio, Dan, Enzo. Working in a sulfur mine.
Even so, holy generic name alert. For, no, we've got an Italian dude. What should we call him? Oh, Mario and Luigi are out. What about Enzo? Let's go Enzo.
So you start off in this area working for one of the more meaner doms, we'll call them, who doesn't care about his people. He has them working to death, basically. And they're basically
like nice
slaves, just working in a Sicilian sulfur mine. Things go wrong. You end up having to escape. You go to a different area of Sicily, and you end up working in a more kind of rural farm area for one of the dons there, who treats his people a lot better. And then from there, you work your way up. Now, from my understanding, the previous games, except for the third one, as I understand, aren't big. Like they're open world setting games, but they're not like big on the free roam, go off and drive and do Grand Theft Auto stand-in type things. The third one is more that, from what I understand, but the third one was also broken, so not a lot of people got into it. This one, it's that same thing. You've got this, if you go to the map and you zoom out, and you've got this lovely, impressive map of Sicily, and very, very beautiful, beautifully captured version of Sicily, which kind of causes that thing where, if you play a game and it's got these beautiful settings, and it could be a setting you've never visited, suddenly it becomes part of your holiday destination wish list. And I think I might be booking a trip to Sicily at some point in the near future, because this is captured so beautifully that I want to check it out.
Wow.
But yes, if you zoom out the map, and you can see it's actually quite a vast and expansive area of land for you to go around. And So I've been streaming this on the chat on Big Red Barrel TV on YouTube. I've done the first 5.5 hours of the story made available, and when I did the first, I think it was 3 hours in my first section. I kind of remarked to go, "Wow, this is a very long tutorial because I've not got to the open bit yet." And 5.5 hours in, I was like, "I'm still not at the open bit." And then as I looked into it, like, oh, there isn't an open bit. This is like This is a straight linear narrative game that is contained within this giant world. And in order to access the world, there's actually a section, I think it's called Carpedia, where you can unlock different vehicles in the game, and then it's a section to go test those vehicles out. But it puts you in the open area, the open world of Sicily, and lets you kind of just drive around and mop up any collectibles that you might have missed along in the story in the story mode, and then you can go back to the main story and keep that progress going over.
Because in the reviews I've read, though, just jumping in on that point, the reviews I've read, people seem 50-50 split. Some people are like, oh, where's my open world as a Mafia game? I need my bloated open world with lots of poorly thought out side activities to do. Whereas other people said it's actually quite refreshing to have a game that has a little nod to an open world, but is actually quite streamlined and quite focused in what it does.
Yeah, and it kind of, I mean, it's a bad example because that did have an open world for you to go and explore, but it kind of reminds me of like True Crime, Streets of LA, Streets of New York, which, quite a rushed and weird, janky game, but I really enjoyed that at the time. It had that more story-focused thing that I was getting out of a GTA at the time. Not say GTA doesn't have a story, but it kind of kept you on that linear path, but also had the open world. But you were kind of dissuaded from going out and exploring this open world because other than just going out and getting some collectibles, there wasn't really that much to do. this has the open world as the setting, which, you know, there's kind of whispers of you checking it out. But unless you go into this actual free roam mode and travel around in it, you'll realize there's not actually that much to do other than going and mopping up collectibles that you find along the way and finding extra types of currencies that you use to buy bonus items, weapons, vehicles, costumes, that kind of thing in the game. And this is apparently this is quite a quick turnaround for a game as well. This was only made in about a year or two, apparently, which very good work if that is the case. But it's this thing of going, hey, we've got this straight-laced story mode to the game set in this open area, but we don't want to make the big sandbox open world because we've not done it well. And if you're not going to do it well, don't do it.
Yeah.
and it works. The complaint I've seen, well, not really a complaint, because for a story, I think it's a decent chunk of time. But one of the drawbacks, I guess you could say, is that if you were just going from A to Z in the story, it's 13 hours, I think. And the game is £50. So you might not be seeing that as a worthwhile investment if you're only getting that much out of it. I spent the full well, actually, no, I got it quite cheaper because I got it physical and had a deal and all that kind of stuff. But I feel it's worth the price to admission just because it is so impressive. The story is that good. Again, I don't have the other games to kind of line up for this one and go, this is an improvement on that, or this is worse than that. But for what this game is, I've been really, really enjoying it. So
I do have a question, but I'm going to jump in now because you're not playing footage again. I just thought I'd point out.
Oh, damn. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I did it again.
Yeah.
But yes, I would recommend it just because the atmosphere, the setting, the story, the acting, just everything about the story of the game, I feel is good. And I really enjoy. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep streaming this just because I've done 5.5 hours of streaming the story. I think that's enough for anyone that was watching live to go, okay, I should probably play the game now. And I will play this in my private time. Or I might keep going just because it is that kind of short way. But I don't want to spoil it for everyone. That's the thing. And I want people to play this for themselves rather than just sit there and watch the movie version on YouTube. But it is very good. And it is story, a lot of shooting, a lot of punching. There is a kind of knife combat mode thing that ends at the end of each kind of story chapter. You'll have like a boss fight that is done through a knife fight. There's also racing, be that horseback racing or driving racing, car racing. All very fun. Very enjoyable. I've really liked this so far, and I would recommend it. However, were this to jump onto a service like a PlayStation Plus or a Game Pass, or even appear in a bargain bin of some kind with a big heavy discount, definitely pick this up if you can get it on a discount.
Yeah.
But as it is, if you're looking for something to spend, if you're looking for a new game to be playing, a brand new game to be playing, £50 in the kind of modern climate of video games is not that much to be spending for a game of this scope, I think. And I've enjoyed it thus far.
So in terms of like, yeah, no, I mean, I was just, and the combat feels good because one of the things is that in these, well, I know it's not a truly open world game, not that we already established, but how is the combat? Because sometimes I sometimes feel it's a bit ropey, a bit by the numbers. Does it feel satisfying, or is it kind of a bit functional?
To begin with, I hated the shooting mechanics. And it's kind of because I jumped in and didn't realize I'd left the auto target on. And it just, I felt like the aiming was fighting me. Whenever I tried to aim, it was something was going, it would like be very muddy to aim and then all of a sudden just shoot away from you. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. Then I took a look and went, oh, I've got auto lock on. Turn that off. Combat immediately much better. Nice. The knife fight stuff is quite interesting. So you have 3 different types of knives. One that is mainly for the hand-to-hand combat. One that gives you, if you're running around in the stealth mode, you can use as a throwing knife. And the other type has some kind of devastating finishing blow to it, but I haven't tried that one out yet. I've gone for the throwing knives because I like me stealthy running around. You're in a tree. Oh, got you. Wah! And I do like throwing knives in games. They are quite fun if you can master them. The knife I left, the throwing knife I left on auto target because I am really good at screwing that up. So yes, that stuff's all good. The boss fight stuff's quite interesting. When you look at the footage, it kind of looks like a rock, paper, scissors type thing, but it's a little bit more intuitive than that. You have different types of attacks that you're using. You have a block, you have a parry, you have a dodge, and then you kind of chain those together and figure out the best way to fight. And that's been challenging at times. The more you go in, the more kind of randomized it gets, but you start to notice patterns along the way. Nothing insanely hard. I've not put it on like the ridiculous difficulty. It's all on normal. But yeah, I've enjoyed the combat. Once I have figured out how to stop it fighting me, I've enjoyed it.
I think you've mostly answered my question, but just to dial into things a little bit. I watched some of your streaming. I dipped in and out of things, and a lot of the beginning bit seemed a lot kind of walking around, getting introduced to characters, chatting to things. Like the odd kind of set
things, not people.
A ladder.
Things.
Yeah.
A blood pot. How are you, stout yeoman of soil?
But, like walking around doing stuff and then kind of having the odd set piece of action.
Yeah.
But from what you've said, it seems like that branches out a bit more into sections of combat and stealth and like. But what kind of sort of percentage of the time is there more when it goes back to another section of story and you're having like walking around the estate and talking to people, or does it kind of carry on then with more combat and stealth and driving around sections? Like how does it mix in the story after the introductory period?
So because it is it is a heavily story-based game, there is a lot of walking around and talking. There are areas of like you'll be driving to a different area of Sicily, and then if you can have an optional thing that pops up and go, hey, do you want to skip this and just get to it? And I've chose to just go with the driving because I've really enjoyed looking at the environments. The further you get in, the more action scenes start progressing, the more shooting opportunities, more stealth opportunities, more things that pop up for you to do is probably the best way to go about it. But that kind of deep story stuff, the dialogue, the walking around, that's always throughout the game because it's what the game's about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I like that.
Sounds
kind
okay.
of thing.
Again, as you said, I think I'll wait for it to come to something rather than spending money on it. But I might be.
I have a physical copy. I'll drop it round to you when I'm done.
Okay.
You're a lucky boy, Tim. You're a lucky boy.
Tim can send it to you.
Hey. Actually, I need to send you Astrobot back now that I think about it.
Oh, you were meant to send that to Tim last year.
I'll send it to Tim. That's a good
Tim's got some games to play. That is a good game. I haven't done any of the DLC since I sent that to you.
You lucky little scamp, Tim. You lucky little scamp.
Yes.
Talking of being
Mafia.
a lucky little scamp.
Oh, well,
sorry, you go for it, Coleman.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, Mafia the Old Country is available now. It's on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Apparently it's £45, not £50. It's got even less since we started this review.
That's a collapse of Western economies for you. So.
I was going to say during the last call they did with old Straussy Zelnick, he said that the game was performing very well, and he's kind of beholden to stakeholders. So he has to say when things are doing well or creatively skirt around it when it's not doing well. I hope it's doing well enough where Hangar 13 get to turn around because they've had layoffs. They've had the studio get shorter. Like I said, they were working on one project. Not
as tall as they used to be.
Yeah. Cut them off at the kneecaps like Hank Hill's dad.
Yeah, that's proper Mafia style.
Yeah.
But there was a whole thing where they were working on a completely different game. Then they went to Mafia and then they had to turn it around very quickly. So I'm hoping this is the start of the return of the Mafia series done in a different way. I would like a direct sequel to, the Sicilian 1900s story where we are at the moment. However, I know a lot of people have been clamoring for more like a 70s Las Vegas aesthetic, much like Casino.
Yeah, cool.
Either way, as I think they've done a great first step in bringing this series back into public interest, and I hope they get to build on that with future installments, and I hope they get to staff up some more. So, all good.
Jolly good. And remind
Games
everyone,
are back, guys.
Remind everyone what platform you were playing on.
I'm playing on PlayStation 5, Dan.
Very good.
It performs beautifully.
Lovely.
Ooh.
Lovely, like a greased whip it up a drain pipe.
If you want to check out my footage, once again, Big Red Barrel TV on YouTube. Go check out the last couple of streams. I got new capture equipment, and it looks much better than it did before.
Yay!
So please watch it so I can justify the price.
Yay for midlife crisis. Coleman's midlife crisis and turning into a YouTuber.
Not really that. I just thought it'd be an excuse to start showing off the review games before reviewing them.
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So, Tim, you've also been playing a thing, but you have been playing a demo in the form of the demo of Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
Yes, I've actually been playing a couple of demos this week, so hopefully I get time to talk about both of them, because they're both worth talking about for different reasons. But yeah, as you said, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Anyone doesn't know, it's a modern remake of an old classic game in which they are bringing in the action platformer of Shinobi into a kind of modern recoat of paint and making it look shiny and nice and bringing some modern touches to it.
I have a question on that very point, Tim, because... I mean, for those of you who are tuning in and watching this live, you can see a video, but this also kind of tallies with a lot of what I've read about the direction they're taking with Shinobi. It seems like they've added a lot of faff to what was a fairly tight set of combat mechanics in the original Shinobi game. So talk to me about that. Is it a good thing, or is it just change for change's sake?
From what I've seen... and I'll preface this with there might be some comeback on this in a bit, but from what I've seen and what I've played, I think it's a really well-made game. I think the basic level exploration is good. I think graphically it looks really interesting. I think they've added some stuff, and it seems like there's quite a lot of stuff added in terms of combat upgrade type things that you'd expect from a kind of modern game, and I think people would probably criticize it if it didn't have that. But at the same time, that's the thing that I think's probably a bit faffy and maybe adding a bit too much. There's various upgrades you can have, and it feels like, well, I've unlocked that upgrade. Is that other upgrade really necessary when I have to choose between them, and it doesn't seem as good as the thing I've already got? So I don't know how that plays across the whole game and whether that will change as you upgrade more stuff and get more level 2 upgrades. But they've added extra flashy moves and stuff that you do, extra special moves. And all of those additions seem quite good. There's one stuff you can do where, it'll attack almost everyone on screen. And there's also different upgrades that are sort of based on the combos that you do. So if you don't get hit for an extended period of time, you'll do more damage or be able to build up certain meters and all this type of stuff as well. And combat-wise and the general level exploration, I think is good. I think, if this sort of action platformer appeals to you, I think this is a good example of that. That said, I think this did enough to make me go, this is a good game. That is not for me.
Oh, no!
Oh, Tim!
That's a shame, because isn't this by the Streets of Rage guys as well?
Yeah, and it's got a very similar graphical style in the kind of cel-shaded is a bit overly simplistic. Cel-shaded. But it's got a nice kind of graphical style that if you've seen the Streets of Rage, the remake, it does very much look like that. And it's a similar treatment that I think works well. I think it looks good. As I said, combat is pretty good. The only thing I didn't like in the combat was actually the boss fights. I don't know if it's just an early boss fight that was just not particularly interesting, but there's a couple of bosses that you face in there, and they seemed a bit dull. It just didn't seem... Well, I don't mind them not being massively challenging, but yeah, it was just okay, I hit this, and then if I've done enough combo things without hitting me, then I can do my special move, and then he's almost toast. They just seemed like big enemies. They didn't seem with a huge health bar. They didn't seem particularly interesting boss designs.
Okay.
But that side, like, I think there's some good stuff there. There's some like nice like hidden elements which I liked and appreciated, but also was enough to put me off the game. Like, because the actual traversal in like the platforming that you do is none too challenging. It was like, okay, I could get on this is fine. And then you get to points where you are basically throughout the levels, and there may be more in subsequent levels, but in the first level there's 2 different hidden kind of areas where you go and strike, and we saw it on screen in the footage that we've seen before. You strike a thing to set off a challenge, and then there's a certain number of enemies that attack you that you then need to beat. And once you've beaten both of them, it unlocks a different upgrade, basically. And or general bonus type item that you can use. But yeah, like the actual challenge of finding them and doing them was fine. Apart from the second one for me, it was like a challenging piece of platforming that was a bit too much like, okay, I can see where this, and this is more of a personal preference, as we know, I'm not the biggest, I like action platformers, but I don't like overly taxing platforming. And that's where it crossed the line for me. It was like a bit too challenging and a bit too, like, to the point of annoyance, where it was, you had to be quite exact. And there was like stringing together a load of jumps. And if you failed at any point, then you went back to the beginning. But not only that, you had to get through that section to get to the combat section. And you had to get through the platforming section and the combat section without dying. Otherwise, you went all the way back to the beginning of the platform section. And I was like, this game's going to get tricky at places and it's going to annoy me. So I'm not going to purchase it. But as I said, more of a personal preference. I think it is a good, well-made game. I think it's definitely worth checking out the demo if you're at all a fan of action platformers. I was playing it on PlayStation 5. It's available on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, everything basically.
Everything.
And I think
it's
pretty well on everything. I think it could be a good handheld game as well. I think it could work well in that environment.
Massive Deek.
And yeah, as I said, it seemed like a well-made game that I'm just not quite going to purchase, basically. But it is $24.99, and there is a discount at the moment if you pre-order it as well.
It does seem steep-ish.
Yeah, it's slightly on the heavy side. That's if it was south of £20, I'd be more tempted to pick it up. But it would have, like, if it was a tenner, it would be like, okay, I'll buy it. But for 25, and I think it's like 10% off at the moment, but that's a bit too steep for my liking.
I'm tempted, but I think I'm going to be too busy with, because there's a couple of games that are out at the end of the year. I've got end of the month I got pre-ordered, but also Herdling's out just 5 days before this game. I might just be too busy herding banthas.
I think both of you will like this game more than I do. So, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Some are calling it Streets of Rage for the New Age.
No, they're not.
Hi, Dan Sheridan.
Yeah. But also, can I quickly sneak in a bit of Hell Is Us? Because I played the demo for that.
Yeah, sure, go for
it.
it.
I was hoping to talk about this next week, but go on. Give me
I do want to sneak in, maybe we can get some footage and show it, but this is one
in 15 seconds, Coleman.
I'm keen to talk about. There's quite an extensive demo. It's about 90 minutes long or so, maybe a little bit less if you're kind of running through it. But if anyone that doesn't know, it was announced. I can't remember where it was. Was it? I think it was one of the showcase type events, State of Play. Yeah, and I think it was on PlayStation. And I don't think it's necessary to necessarily play it on PlayStation, but it does add a little bit more to it, which I'll come back to. But anyone that doesn't know, it's a kind of post-apocalyptic setting, but I'm not sure when the time period is. There's a note that I found that refers to 1993, but I think it's later than that. It seems to be an alternate kind of history Earth, where, or I don't know, there's a particularly a land called Hadia where you are traveling back to, you are trying to find your parents. It's a land that's been civil war has been raging, and it's kind of been difficult to get to. You try and infiltrate it by joining a group of peacekeepers, and just as you join them, the peacekeepers leave the country, and so you're kind of forced to just travel to the edge of the country and then lose your peacekeeper uniform and then kind of infiltrate yourself into the country.
Infiltrate yourself, not infiltrate someone else. Infiltrate yourself
before you wreck yourself.
Yes, do so.
Word, Coleman. Word.
But yeah, like I don't want to give away too much, but it's a really interesting game that feels like it's got elements of a lot of other things, but is very much a thing unto itself. I don't think there's anything that's quite like this. There are things that are similar elements. It kind of reminds me of Watch Dogs. just because you got an iconic hat.
Is there an iconic hat? Is what I want to know. Is there an iconic hat?
There is an iconic hat, and he even makes reference to his hat.
Nice.
But there's also a drone that you kind of got, like, eventually get attached to your shoulders, and that you can kind of then use to distract enemies and do other things. But yeah, initially you go into environment, not really know what's going on, and basically you encounter these enemies, which, not giving too much away, but they are like kind of hollow-faced, kind of like humanoid shaped, but like white hollow-faced entities that you encounter, and there's not much explanation of who they are or what's going on. And all of a sudden, you pull out a gun, which you hadn't really seen until that point because you've been wandering around in a forest and doing other stuff, but it hadn't really. So you pull out your gun and start shooting at this enemy. It does nothing. And then suddenly someone that you don't really know rocks up, pulls out a sword, and starts dealing with this kind of. It reminds me, there's elements of it that remind me of Control as well, in terms of like visual presentation and other things as well. But it's very much like melee combat focused. And it's because your gun does nothing to these enemies. And the basically you inherit without going into Jesus, you inherit the sword and the like kind of costume and the drone from someone that doesn't quite make it in their first encounter combat that you kind of go through. But you don't really know what's going on, and other than you have to do these things. It also, the game's quite dark, and the drone has a light on it, and you really need that light to see like in the environments and stuff. But it kind of, as I said, elements that remind me of Watch Dogs. There's elements that remind me of Fallout in terms of it's not nuclear based, but it's it feels a bit post-apocalyptic, but in terms of like it's a war zone type thing. There's like World War I kind of trenches that kind of litter the first environment that you're in, at least. And there's like medieval castles, and the weapons you're using are referred to as being medieval. And so it's a kind of mixture of different things. And one of the first environments you encounter is like a farmhouse. So it feels like really like weird in time-wise. And that's why I'm not sure when it's, because there's like an APC and like soldiers that have very kind of modern equipment or even futuristic kind of equipment. But yeah, like, so as I said, not sure exactly what's going on as a character, but you're investigating all these different things. And where the other kind of element that I'm reminded of Fallout is very much you have a data pad that reminds me of the Pip-Boy because it's this green and black screen. But it's kind of got like nodes of different investigations and like different bits of information and stuff you found from the environment and conversations you've had with people. And the game even tells you at the beginning of the game, like, we are not holding your hand in terms of telling you where to go. You have a compass. There's no map. Just figure it out. Figure out where you're going and stuff like that. And it very much doesn't seem to hold your hand from a like overly telling you what's going on in the story or, you know, leading you through the environment. It feels quite refreshing in a way to do that. Like, it does give you some early pointers of, and then you're kind of being led through this forest and you're told to follow wind chimes, and that kind of leads you in a certain direction. But otherwise, it seems like you're going to be wandering around and just like have to take note of the environment and what things are going on. There's some environmental puzzles to go through, and they seem quite interesting so far. The combat's quite interesting. Like, there's some different stuff going on with it in terms of, as I said, it's melee focused, but then you've got a very thin window of opportunity to kind of get some energy back. and your health and stamina are kind of tied together. So your stamina has a maximum of whatever your health is currently at. So the more you lose health, the less stamina you have available. And yeah, that seems to work quite well. And it's just doing a few things interesting and different. And I think this is a game worth putting on your radar. Definitely worth checking out the demo because it's doing things a bit differently, and I kind of really like what it's doing. It's gone from being a game I'd heard of and looked semi-interesting to, okay, when am I getting this kind of idea? And it's 50 quid. I don't know how big the game is, but it seems like it's a fairly quite expensive.
Size of a small mongoose.
So yeah, that's some good. The other reason I was saying about playing it on PlayStation, if you get that opportunity, it's done some interesting things with the microphone and the kind of rumble. Like the rumble stuff's like, that's fairly more ubiquitous across other formats. So that's something you can get elsewhere. But the microphone is just some stuff I haven't really seen them do stuff with before. Like, there's some in-game stuff that is fairly standard, but like it makes a noise when you go up ladders, which is weird. I haven't encountered that before.
I mean, speaker.
Yeah.
The inverse microphone.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I meant, speaker rather than microphone. But yeah, no.
Microphone like 4 times.
Oh, sorry.
What's he talking about?
I meant speaker.
That's why his audio quality's so bad. He's just yelling into a speaker. All he's doing.
But yeah, but anyway, it does some interesting stuff with that. And yeah, as I said, it seems to be doing a few things different and interesting and that's worth having a look at. So yeah, go check it out.
So the demo has apparently been out on PC for a couple of months now, but they've just done a bit of a redo of it because there's some extra enhancements that came along with the console version of the demo. So if you had a look at it, apparently it's worth checking out again. It's got things like new, better tutorials. It's got better visual cues about attacks that could be parried. It's got loads of bug fixes. It performs better. So if you've already checked it out on PC, it's worth checking out again, I think.
That's what I wanted to say, because the PC version came out and it had a lot of auto AI, can't switch them off, upscale things on there because it took a lot to run on PC at a stable frame rate and looking good. They seem to have done a lot more optimization now, which is not a word you hear a lot of with Unreal Engine 5 games.
It does look
very, I was very concerned for the PlayStation 5 version of this game, but thankfully it does seem to be running well. It is a temporary demo as well. The console version's only going to be out for, I think it's the 23rd or the 26th of August, and then they're removing it.
Yeah.
So, I was trying to sort of switch off while you're talking about it, Tim, because I want to play myself without being
the good news, I find it very easy to switch off while Tim's doing a 15-hour
I thought you
demo.
would say so.
Tim's description was your description longer or shorter than the demo, Tim?
Just about sure, because it's quite a long, extensive demo. So yeah, definitely worth checking out.
All right.
And Coleman's back in the room. Back in the room.
Ready for some news, because I tell you.
Ooh.
I tell you.
What?
A bit more layoffs in the gaming industry this
Okay.
week.
Again?
Yeah,
God damn it.
Quite a surprising one, really, because this is not someone you'd think for big layoffs, but Bithell Games, Mike Bithell Games, hit with major layoffs reportedly after Tron Catalyst launched. Like directly after the Tron Catalyst had launched as well.
That's a shame.
I mean, that's the thing that upsets me the most is when you've got a team who've clearly poured a lot of passion and soul into a project just for it to release and then being shown the door straight after. It feels so cynical for me, and I'm really surprised at Bithell Games on this. Although I understand part of the backdrop on this is that it was actually driven by investment in another project they had planned not paying out or not being seen through. So it might be
it's happened a couple of times now.
Yes. So it might be that if you can't secure a new large scale project, it's just a cash flow issue. But that being said, looks like Bithell Games are doing what they can to do the right thing. So
they've been offering severance packages.
Severance packages, and that the team have been given a big early heads up on this. So I hope all of the talented people there find a new home somewhere in another.
And it's a real shame because Bithell's not only a nice person, but also like it's kind of, you know, a nice British indie studio that has previously done well, and it seems
they make cool games.
Yeah,
they make interesting indie style games out of big licenses. Like they've done 2 Tron games and the John Wick game that's recently been taken offline like a couple of weeks before this happened as well.
That probably doesn't help their cash flow at the moment either, no?
Yeah, I'm wondering if because for the longest time we've seen less and less licensed games that we used to, and I think it's because like the amount of development that goes into these games, trying to tie them into film releases, what have you. And how long it takes and how much money it takes. So a lot of these have kind of been relegated to more like free-to-play phone games. And now that we're starting to see a resurgence of the licensed game. And we saw recently with Ubisoft, they Yves Guillemot definitely trying to burn his bridges with Disney, where he said the reason that Star Wars Outlaws didn't do well was because everyone's sick of Star Wars.
To be fair, that's a very French response.
But when you kind of, I forgot who, there was someone who recently broke down like how much the licensing, especially with Disney licensing, which Tron is, how much the licensing costs before you even start developing the game. It really eats into your, and then how much you're paying back on the purchase of each game. It really eats into your earnings from that game.
It also, I think this is a bad time to release a Tron game, just, you know, timing wise, because there's the new film on the way. If they've been able to hold out till that came out, I think there'd been more interest in this. So I think that's just unfortunate timing on that front as well. If the license did cost a lot of money, it means you've got to sell even more copies, and I think it's a bit out of the zeitgeist at the moment. Eh?
That said, really looking forward to that new Tron film. I like Tron. Looks
you do
good.
like Tron.
Good.
Any excuse to put your neon hot pants on, you're up for that, aren't you, Coleman?
I love me neon hot pants.
You love a pair of neon hot pants.
Trons in real world, that's what I like. That's what they're officially called, Trons.
The Trons.
The Trons are in the real world.
Mr. and Mrs. Tron.
Take that, J.K. Rowling. Wait, what? No, that's different.
This one's interesting. Blizzard's story team, they said yes to unionization this week, which is interesting because that means that they're probably going to be targeted to get the chop soon. So that's been happening. Weird circumstances in Microsoft.
Well, yeah, funny that after buying all of the things, they're like, oh, wow, keeping everyone about is really expensive, isn't it? It's just me reading between the lines in probably an unfair manner there, but never mind.
It is. Yes, they've officially voted to unionize with the Communication Workers of America. So there you go.
Good, I guess.
You want to talk about Subnautica 2?
There's been
Did any of us play
shenanigans.
No.
Tim can switch off.
I've installed it on my Steam Deck. I haven't yet played Subnautica, but it does sound like something that would amuse me greatly.
It's just
I know
really
Kev's
liked.
played a lot of it.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
Kev loves
Kev
it.
really likes it. This is basically No Man's Sky underwater. Survival, base building,
No Man's Puddle.
that kind of stuff. The first game was very, very popular. And then there was some kind of weird goings on where the game was meant to come out this year. And if you're watching the footage on screen, a lot of people going, wow, this looks like good enough to be launching, at least in early access. I wonder why this suddenly got pushed back a year. And allegedly, the reason is publisher Crafton. They said, hey, we're going to sack the 3 studio leads, Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Mike McClure.
No, it was Max McGuire.
Max McGuire. Mike McClure, where'd I get that from? You may remember him from such games as Subnautica. But they've all been given the chop, and allegedly they were meant, if the game had done well enough by the end of 2025, they were in for a $250 million bonus. So the game got pushed back and they all got sacked. Allegedly, so
Wow.
Crafton can save themselves $250 million. So,
Wow.
would you
seems
believe
like
there
a
are
lot.
legal proceedings are going on about this now?
Are you sure it's
Imagine.
250 million sounds like a lot of money for a bonus for executives. Like,
I'm
is this game
assuming
gonna
that's a
make
bonus.
It's for
250 million?
everyone who works there.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
assuming
it'll be
that's to be
split.
divvied up across the whole studio, but they've sacked the leads and pushed the game back into next year, so that now isn't a thing that happens.
How many
So-
copies of the game would they have to sell to make 250 million?
4, it's a very expensive game.
So just to kind of go that because that's one side of the story. Just for the purposes of balance, I'd like to just quote what Crafton have said in their very corporate response. Surprisingly unprofessional, actually. Cleveland and Maguire abandoned their roles as studio-wide game director and technical director to focus on their personal passion projects and quit making games for unknown worlds. Passion projects. And stopped making games for unknown worlds entirely. And Gil, who remained, focused on leveraging his operational control to maximize the earn-out payment rather than developing a successful game. Wow. Wow, that is some big falling out over there. That sounds pretty irrecoverable, I think. It's a shame because, Subnautica was very popular and, it just makes me wonder if this is just going to become illegal football and but that's going to stop the game in a good state getting released. It would be my worry.
If the game sells for 30, how much did the last game sell for?
I don't know, Tim. I haven't played
Say
it.
it's 30 quid. That's
Money.
like 8 million copies they'd have to sell.
You're really strung up on this one.
It seems like too much money. Like, I don't understand how that was a deal. Like, someone that made that deal is stupid. Or it sells at a higher price and a higher volume than I imagine Subnautica 2 will sell at.
$250 million. All right, so let's say how many...
If I were to guess, this is a deal that was made at a earlier date of a much prosperous time of video games sales, and when they thought expanding was going to do them a world of good, and the industry is not like that anymore. So it's probably a pre-existing deal that they've had to get rid of. And so if this is all because if they are pushing back and sacking all because of this bonus thing, that's what I would assume.
What we don't know is whether it's cold hard cash or some of it stock options. Because to your point, Tim, they'd have to sell 10 million copies at $25 a pop.
Yeah,
to just break even on that.
Subnautica 1 original price before it was on sale. At the moment, it's on sale for 75% off, but original price was $29.99. So me estimating at 30 quid and having to sell 8 million is,
I'm just hoping by sticking this in legal proceedings, this is not going to mar the game where it's already been pushed back and then it ends up sort of indefinitely getting pushed back until it just silently gets shut off. We've seen recently the whole thing with, what's that shooter, the Portal shooter type game? Splitgate?
Oh,
Splitgate 2.
Yes. Splitgate 2 launched and then they went, whoops, we've got to unlaunch the game. And there's some issues going on
Making
with that
FPSs unlaunch again.
Yeah. Apparently, I spent a lot of money to do a 2-minute presentation of just crapping on the rest of the industry. So that was funny. Lastly, Crimson Desert, a game I wasn't paying too much attention to until this news came out that it's been pushed back into 2026. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is, look how cool this game looks. This is a very in-depth RPG type fantasy thing that I really want to play now. Okay, been pushed back into 2026 if you were keeping your eye on this one. Pearl Abyss, I believe they do the MMOs that I don't play.
Black Desert Online,
but
I think.
That's the one. I tried that once on phone, I think, when they brought it to mobile.
Wow.
Could not get into. It's weird. You play it on a mobile phone, and then they blown up like all these icons and things all over it because it is clearly made to play on a big screen. But I remember that game very, very big into. Oh, look at the character creator. Look how realistic you can make your characters look for the time. And now they're doing like a big, proper, expansive, open RPG rather than an MMO, and that looks cool. And I'm more interested in this now I know it exists.
I mean, that's the way things work,
wait.
usually.
Yes,
if you don't know they exist, you can't get very interested in them. Gone.
But so this one's pushed back to 2026. It will be coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Oh, there's
I'll be
dragons.
pleased to know the website still says late 2025, but still promises you a world brimming with adventure.
Oh, good.
So
I do like my adventure to brim.
Looks cool, though.
Not what we heard, Tim. Slightly different word. Anyway.
I also like that the last trailer available for this was to announce the release date of 2025 8 months ago.
Whoops. What?
Oh, well. That's all the news we have.
Indeed, so we better start wrapping this sucker up, I reckon.
I thought you were going to start rapping then.
No, because that would be terrible. And it would be a travesty that would possibly be career-ending for me. Not only on this podcast, but in real life as well, Tim. So let's
Fine, I'll have to spit some bars.
Go on, Coleman.
I mean, you got the backwards cap going on, Coleman, so, you know.
Yo, 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 what it is, Mother Hubbard.
Yes. Yo, yo, yo,
Mother
your boy,
Hubbard.
MC Grobbler Doubler.
Oh, I don't have that to hand. Hold on. Wait. Wait. Go on then. Do it again.
Oh, yo, 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 it's your boy, MC Grobbler Doubler.
Not done that for a while.
Yeah. Oh, old Scrubble Double. Coming out the abandoned podcast characters vault.
Shall we merch?
Let's merch. Buy things with my face on it. That's right. Go to bigredbarrel.dashery.com, or alternatively, if you like being more on brand, you can go to bigredbarrel.com/store and enjoy a sweet, sweet redirect that Coleman set up. bigredbarrel.com/store. There you will find things with my face on it. Also, other things that don't have my face on it, some of which are slightly nicer to look at than my face.
Some of which that are skirting the legalese of parody and copyright.
We would like to point out that all of those designs are by Tim.
It's all Tim,
Nothing
Your
to
Honor.
do with us.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Genuinely, all Tim. So go there, bigredbarrel.com/store. Buy things. You will have a good time and spend some money while doing it. But most importantly, have a good time. Tim, every Tuesday is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Pray tell, what is going on this Tuesday? And what can people find should they turn up on a Tuesday to a place that you're going to tell them to turn up at?
Each and every Tuesday, we do an event called Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington.
This is brand new information.
Why was last week's event extra special?
Why was last week's event extra special?
Because we had a special guest and the one and only John Brady and
Timmy
friends
Mallet.
and brother. And
It's
people.
Brady.
Yeah, so it was nice to have him along.
I still haven't bought his
Always
book.
good to catch up with John.
I have.
You should. And yeah, like anyone doesn't know, each and every week we do Tabletop Tuesday at Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. Each week we have a different feature game. If you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance of winning a copy of the game at the end of the evening. This week's game is also extra special because it's very suitable for the bar and very suitable for the podcast. It is a game called Console Wars.
Console Wars. Just like the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Good. I thought you were going to segue onto some information there, Tim, but you just
Yeah.
did a hard stop on that sentence.
Dead
It's
air
a card
instead.
game. It's about making games. It looks fun. It looks good. You should come along and play it at the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington this week, and then you can win a copy just by playing it. If you do want some more details, there isn't when you listen to the live show, but there will be tomorrow. More details on bigredbarrel.com, or you can search for Tabletop Tuesdays on meetup.com. Join the over 2,500 people in our meetup group. Search for Tabletop Tuesday, or just come along to the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington on Tuesday and play Console Wars and possibly win a copy by doing so.
And remember, as always, if you go, look Tim
Don't listen to Dan.
longingly and lovingly in the eyes
Do
and go,
not
Kiss him.
listen to Dan.
Kiss him.
Or Colm. Both lies.
Touch his thigh.
No, that's
Take
assault.
his ear.
All assault.
put
Jam
your little
tongue
finger,
in his cock clear.
put
That's
your
sexual
little
assault.
finger
In the ear,
right
in the
in
ear.
his chin butt, right there. He loves that when you do that.
Or also no.
Stick tickle his knee bit.
Lick his balls.
It's a bit back behind the knee. Anyway, what was I going to say? Tabletop Tuesday, loading bar in Stoke, Newington. Go there for console wars. Go to the meetup.com/table-top-Tuesdays. I might set up a redirect. We might
don't
have
make it easy.
MEAT up.
Meat. Nom.
Meat up.
Meat.
Nom, nom, nom.
Just make it TTT. That'll be good.
No.
Fair
That'll
enough.
be much easier.
Titties.
TTT.
Titties.
If you've enjoyed this show, you've got weird
How
taste,
old
we
are
love
you
you all the
two?
same. If you've got the weird...
45?
Yeah.
But.
Younger than that.
Mentally.
Yes, we are. If you've enjoyed this show, thank you very much for listening. Your weird taste, we love you all the same. Be sure to go to bigredbarrel.com. That is the place where we keep all the stuff and things, including links to our social medias and our Discord. But you can go to bigredbarrel.com. You can follow the link to Discord, or you could go bigredbarrel.com/Discord. It will take you to Discord. We have little rooms where we do little chats about this here podcast. We do little chats about different platforms of video games. We give away Steam keys for video games. There's a whole room dedicated to that. You can pick yourself up a new game. Ooh, ice cream. The ice cream man's going past. I don't know if that's picking up on the microphone.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. What was I doing? We got lots of stuff going on. Ooh, wow, a blue car. Going off again. Oh,
I've got it now.
Go get ice cream, Coleman. Come on, let's get out of here. You can go get some ice cream.
Hang on, have I got one?
Right, I'm going to go get a screwball. We'll be back in a minute. Still 50p,
Bye.
right?
Get a flake. Get me a flake.
Yes, go to bigredbarrel.com, go to Discord and do things. Much like it said, he went to Discord and he says, Mafia.
Is that a question?
No,
Oh.
I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
Mafia barely knew her. Wrecked him, damn near killed him. You can use that one at work, Dan. You being a doctor and all.
Mm-hmm. Wow, come on. Jesus Christ.
Coleman.
For
You
a
made it
start,
worse.
never the double finger on the rectum.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
Never the
No.
double finger. Or the thumb. Don't do the thumb either. Jesus Christ, man. What is wrong with it? Yeah. Look, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of that particular examination on the podcast. No, and certainly not up to the wrist, okay? Yeah, and people don't like it if you try and then pretend that they are a glove puppet, Coleman. That's also bad. What's that you say, Mr. Whole examination? They don't like it, all right?
Perfect way
None
of
of it is
explaining what's
professional.
happening for all
Ask
our
me
audio.
how I know. What?
This is a perfect explanation to what's happening for all our audio listeners.
Right,
that's the show.
We
Thank
are
God.
going. We are going for very good reasons. Thank you, one and all, for coming along and listening to us. Hopefully, we'll see you back here next week. But until then, all that's really left for us to do is to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I'm getting ready to work Tim like a glove puppet.
Oh, no, you're not.
What's that, Tim?
And that's your lot. Thank you ever so much, everyone and all, for coming along. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarrel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, Red a site on the internet. BigRedBarrel.com.
You're herding a bunch of beasts like you're a big shepherd, which I like the idea of.
Like, as in a shepherd with a big herd, or just a really ginormous shepherd?
Ginormous shepherd.